Hi team, welcome everyone. Thanks for watching this AWS Advanced Course series. Again, in this video, right, we are going to continue with IAM service only, but today little changes. We are going to discuss about some of the real project use case. Okay, so this real-time project use case is one of the similar exposure what I got from the environment and the project which I worked long back. So I felt like it's really useful to share the real projects because beginning of the session itself we said we are not only take the concept each and every services, right, we are going to cover with the real project use case so that you will be familiarized with what things are going on, how things are happening in the real environment. Okay, in that way you can see in this project use case we're gonna set up the environment, IAM environment for Swiggy. Okay, you all know Swiggy is one of the leading food delivery and other grocery delivery application as of today. You can look at this. My client Swiggy wants to administrate their technical engineers as follows, which means as like you, Swiggy is the client also. They are recently migrating from on-premises to AWS cloud. They wanted to hierarchy wise they need to arrange and organize plan for IAM users authentication and authorization. That's what their bottom line of requirement. So they have a team such as developer, database, Linux admin and storage admin. Like they have a 4 set of teams available. Okay, so all the team, right, they are working in 2 level, L1 and L2. Okay, you all know L1 means the level 1 team, they will have a read only across the services, where if you go L2, that they are SNO, they will be having a read and write at that specific service. Based on your experience, you'll be part of that particular. So here our requirement is need to create a L1 team. L1 we are going to create those are first one. We are going to create a developer L1 team. Then we need to create a Linux, which means server L1 group. Next we need to work on creating database team. Then we need to work on what is that storage L1 team. Okay, this is how we need to create it. Similarly, right, we need to replicate for L2 team. Similarly, we need to replicate for L2 team. Okay, that is the action plan for L2 team. So we'll have a same setup. Mention it here. So first dev L2, next one is server L2, third one is DB2, fourth one is storage L2. So L2 engineers all will fall under this particular group. The engineers are fall under this particular. So this is how we are going to create a 2 teams. Totally we are going to create IAM groups for almost 8 departments. 4 departments in the L1 team, 4 departments in the L2 team. Now each services, right, each department, right, we need to provide some service level access. In the service level access, right, we all know in AWS itself we have something called a policy. We have something called IAM policy. So when you can check that, right, so in the console if you come when you click this policy, you should be able to see almost 1,000 plus policies are available by default. This policy, right, either these all calling it as a AWS managed policy. Wherever you are seeing this orange AWS logo, these are something called as a AWS managed policy. Apart from that, based on your custom requirement, you can even create your own policy also. That also we are going to discuss in this point. Here we are going to talk about creating custom policy. But before going to that, using the AWS managed policy, we are going to assign some set of permission to this group section. So if it is a development team, right, they will use Lambda. Okay, think whatever. Yeah. So for the development team, right, we are going to use Lambda. So we are going to use Lambda. Let me pick this. Okay. Lambda read only access, but for dev L2, right, Lambda full access. Okay. Then for server L1 team, right, we are going to use EC2 read only. For server L2, we are going to use EC2 full access. Okay. Likewise, we need to make a policy for DB. Okay. DB read only. For this we need to provide RDS only. Here we need to provide RDS full access. So for storage, right, yeah, you all know S3 read only. Here we are going to give. So like that, we need to create a group and we need to create a permission. Okay, let us go ahead and we'll do that. Let me go to the groups. Here you can see already DB team available. Let me delete it because we are going to do the fresh team for Swiggy and okay. Creating a group. So first let's get started with creating group for dev L1. If you go, we need to search for the execution. Here you can see, click on the Lambda full access. Sorry, it's L1 team, right? So yeah, okay, create the group. Right, immediately let's create for dev L2 group as okay, followed by need to create a server L1. You need to search for this. Sorry, EC2 read. You need to create a server L2 group now. EC2. Then you need to create a database L1 team. Give RDS. Okay. Now we need to create a RDS group. One last storage group. Storage L1. 3 read only, storage L2, 3 full access. Okay, like that. Yes. We created 8 groups now. Like that, we created the 8 groups now. So why we are creating groups like that? Why we are assigning the necessary permission to the group? So if you go any environment, right, people will be predefinedly set up their group, predefinedly set up their permission to the group. Whenever anybody joining to our team, instead of adding the permission individually, maximum they'll prefer to add it in the existing group. Okay, only then we can maintain a standard. Why? Because if you order to change something, imagine you have 100 user individually. If you go and change the permissions for update update, not for changing. Future, you want to update some individually going and updating the permissions for all 100 users. It's a tedious task. So why we have a group, in the group centralized place, common place. If you update in that location, obviously you'll be able to modify it. You'll be able to update it in across the all 100 users who are part of the group action. Okay, that is the reason our intention, our requirement is to set up the properly. We need to create a IAM group that will be our standard moving forward. Whenever we come for creating any users, any new user joins our project called Santosh. Okay, someone joined in the name of Santosh. What we will do, we'll click. So right in this location itself, we'll add in this necessary group. Okay, so right now what you are seeing, DB-L1, server L1, this is just an example for this particular Swiggy project. But when you go to live environment, this may vary, depends on the project use. Okay, people will have a different requirement. People will have a different set of use cases. Based on that, it will change, will vary. All right. So yeah, for this requirement, we have implemented this before completing this use case, right? We would see create a custom AWS policy to provide access to EC2 S3 RDS. But for VPC, right, we can create and we cannot delete it. Basically, you need to create one policy. Okay, this policy is something called as a IAM custom policy. Okay, here the requirement is we should give full access to EC2 3 RDS. But in the meantime, you can give create access to VPC, but you are not supposed to delete anything in it, because if we delete something in the network level, there may be chances of connectivity loss. It will give a huge impact for us. To avoid that, we need to be conscious. See, if we give read only permission, if we follow AWS policies, we go to policies. If you follow what is that, VPC, right? When you follow VPC, you have an option for full access, or you will have an option for read only. But other things are there, but not exactly for this requirement. People can create, but they cannot delete. There is no policy for this particular requirement. So these kind of such situation, right? People would recommend to create a custom policy. People would recommend to create a custom. Makes sense. So this is where the actual team works. So we need to work on setting up this custom policy. This custom policy, right, can be created in 2-3 different way. Technically, multiple different options are there. There is something called AWS policy generator. Generally, if we go search in Google like this, okay, if we go there, yes, if we come here, what policy we are going to generate? I'm going to generate IAM policy. What I need to, I need to allow what service? Amazon S3. Okay, almost all are given for everyone. So resource ARN, I'm giving star. Let me add the state. Similarly, right, I need to allow for EC2. So I'm going to select all action for everyone to allow. Similarly, right, for RDS also, I need to do the same. I'll add it. So now we are coming into the state where we need to search for the EC2. So when you come to we need to search for the VPC, but basically there is no separate service available for VPC alone. Okay, where when come to policy wise and other programming wise, the AWS EC2 itself, your VPC policy also will come. If we go generally, we'll do one thing. We'll give all, but deny. There is option called delete over there. All the actions will be aligned as per alphabets. Delete carrier gateway. I don't want to delete VPC, VPN router, ADR pool, customer gateway, DHCP endpoint. So wherever possible with the networking connected, okay, whichever the one you really feel like important under respect to networking, and choose. People not subnet, not supposed to delete. So whichever you feel like important, select those actions and put star. You add statement, see how it happened. So you have you allowed for S3 full access, allowed for EC2 full access, allowed for RDS full access, but you're denied for deleting, network VPC related. So you cannot delete the VPC, you cannot delete the subnet. Like that, using this policy generator, you can generate your own customized policy. When you have a custom requirement like this, you can generate it. When you click on generate policy, right, you generate and give you the policy. What you can do, simply you can copy all these items. You can go to AWS console. You can click on create policy. Okay, click on JSON. Simply you can add it. Like this is one way of generating the policy by using this policy generator. If you feel like it's little complex, what you can do here itself, at the moment when you clicked on create policy, here itself you can do basically. So there is you can choose the service. Let me select okay, allow all S3 action, all resource, add more permission. I'm going to select all action, allow, then for all service. Next one is RDS, allow all service. Now we are coming to the specific place where we are going to deny. Select EC2 itself. Okay, we are going to deny. What are the delete kind? After this, here it comes. We are going to select delete router, delete NAT gateway, delete VPC, delete subnet, delete router, whichever relate to your VPC component can delete. Last thing, subnet. Okay, whichever one you wanted to deny and select them. Okay, So after that, can scroll down for all resources. Play. Yeah, that's it. So once you have done, click on next. You can give some name to your policy. Maybe custom policy or my project. Any project name you can give. Description you can give. So P2, 3, RDS full access only for VPC. Deny, delete the resources. Like that, you can specify that you can specify. Here all the things will come. You can validate and click on create policy. Okay. So you are telling like not supposed standard. Okay. Custom policy has been created. You can see there are types of policies available. Okay. AWS managed policy. And if we give customer managed policy, yeah, even if you remember this, that if you expand this, you should be able to see the JSON. Be able to see the JSON the perspective. So this way also you can get the policy. But today, no matter actually, if you provide this requirement in chat GPT kind of AI tools, that tools is giving you the policy. Okay, you can make use of them simply if you go right, if you open a chat. Okay, give me AWS IAM customer term policy for full access to C2 F3 RDS and deny deny delete VPC subnets route table internet gateway. And so if you give like that, it will generate and it will give you the policy directly. So nowadays it's very simple actually. When we had our career, right, started our career, we need to understand each and every lines and structure of the policy. Everything we need to be very much conscious doing it. Okay, look at this. What are the things we struggle, right? It's given to us clearly. Copy this. Go to your policy creator. Instead of selecting all those things, you can choose JSON, paste it in. By the way, also you can create a policy custom. So any requirement you got right in your environment, give this requirement to your AI tool so that way also you can generate a policy. Okay, so these kind of customized requirement will be there in many of your project when talks about creating customized IAM policy. So hope this example would have helped you. Now you understood how the group structures are there, will be there in a live project. So but again, this project Swiggy project example, but based on the project to project, right, the requirement also will vary. Okay, so I think I'll meet you guys with the next video. Thanks for watching. Keep learning.